What's up, traders? So Amazon's cloud business is re-accelerating and Palantir just grew their revenue by a massive 70%. On the surface, these earnings were absolute blowouts. But as an investor, I have a major problem. What if I told you buying one of the hottest AI stocks could be a massive mistake? One of these companies are trading at a valuation not seen since the dot-com bubble, and the other is burning cash faster than it can make it. Now, with all that said, one of these companies I believe is a buy as we speak, and the other one, we'll talk about it. But we'll look at all of the data and then we will place a potential trade within the Moomoo platform. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Rashad. I am a full-time options trader and I bring in the bulk of my income via the stock market. So if you could do me such a huge favor and go ahead and smash that like button, and do remember that this is not financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any equities or options contracts. All trading comes with risk. But of course, before we begin, I have to start with a scripture that deals with money, wealth building, or business. And today's word will come from Luke 14:28. And it says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? And the easy to read version states, plan carefully before committing resources. And this for the most part should be pretty straightforward, but this even pertains to trading. You don't want to go in like it's a casino and make crazy trades. You want to go with the style and the strategies that creates the highest probability of profit. And even when you are following the correct game plan, you want to make sure it's a paper trade to begin with to further build up your knowledge. All right, so I hope that blesses somebody. But speaking of people who are doing the right thing, I have to shout out members of the Trade to Freedom community. Kevin here made $720 with our 0DTE day trading. Hector here has already made well over $8,000 this year while doing several vacations. And Douglas here is up nearly $17,000 just off of 2 trades. And so shout out to all of you guys. And if you know anybody who's looking to trade to freedom, tell them about the community. The link is below in the description. They'll get my trades, the course, access to ask me questions at any given time. And they'll be within a community of 400 other traders who are all focusing on the exact same goal, and that is to trade to freedom. All right, so link is below in the description, but with that, let's get down to business. So let's go ahead and let's start with Amazon. And first off, I want to talk about their recent earnings because their earnings were amazing. And so I have this graphic here that kind of summarizes some of the major points from their earnings. But AWS, Amazon Web Services, is re-accelerating by growing over 24% year over year, which puts it at around a $142 billion annual run rate. Now, if you're not familiar with Amazon services, that is the portion of Amazon's business that is the most profitable. All right, they do not make that much money from delivering you packages because the margins on that sector of their business is very small. However, for Amazon Web Services, most of their earnings come from that platform. All right, and as far as revenue, they definitely beat. They had a very strong Q4 and brought in $190 billion. All right, so we are getting very close to seeing a company do $200 billion plus in revenue, which seems so crazy because it was just a few years ago that both Apple and Amazon both kind of crossed that $100 billion revenue mark at the same time. Now, on the downside, Amazon's free cash flow is seemingly going in the wrong direction. Now, what is the difference between net income / earnings versus free cash flow? Well, with net income, there's ways to kind of manipulate it via tax strategies that include paper losses, such as depreciation and amortization. And so for accounting purposes, the IRS allows for those things to be counted as an expense, even though the company is not actually handing over any real money. However, on the free cash flow side, it is simply money in versus money out, without any crazy accounting rules. So if you ever want to know how much money a company is actually earning, it is wise to look at their free cash flow. Now, if we can see, if we look last year, Amazon did $38 billion. Well, for this recent quarter, it crashed down to $11 billion. So that is quite a tremendous fall. And a lot of that is due to their CapEx spend. They have already said last year that they would have the largest spend on AI. However, it was a shock to most investors when they came out for this earnings and said, hey, it's going to be $200 billion just for this year, 2026. All right. And so this is a huge part of why the stock has been going down over the last few weeks. Now, I've made videos on Amazon before, and I pointed out that I do believe that Amazon is probably the company that has the most to gain from AI. And the reason I say that is because as of last year, I don't know what the statistic is now, but as of last year, Amazon had more employees than any other company in the world. They literally had 1 million employees. And so although they're bringing in crazy amounts of revenue, almost more than any other company in the world, as we can see here at 190 billion for the last quarter, a lot of that revenue ends up going towards their employees because they have so many to pay. Well, they've already stated that they are going to drastically use AI in order to automate a lot of the things that happen in their warehouses, which they've already done so far, but they plan on taking it even further. And while I certainly don't want to see anybody losing their job to robots, at this point, we kind of know that it's pretty much inevitable. And the more automated that Amazon can make their business, the less employees that they will need. And they've even already started off their layoffs, which I believe the last round that they did, they cut 16,000 jobs. And so, of course, that sounds like a huge amount. However, like I said, they had at one point 1 million employees. So even then, that's still less than 2% of what their total employee count was. But overall, for the long term, I am very, very bullish on Amazon. And apparently the analysts share the exact same sentiments, as we can see that they have huge price targets for it, well above what the stock is currently trading for. And so if we look at these price targets, there is a high of 360 and a mean target of 284. And some bearish analysts clearly has it at 175. Now, the current stock price is 201 as I'm recording this video, and we can see out of 57 different analysts, they have it as a strong buy collectively. And so typically when I look at analyst targets, I like to look at the mean target. And so that 284 sticks out. That's a pretty large upside from here with the stock being at 200. Now, I'm recording this video after market close, and so Amazon officially ended the day positive, whereas for the previous 9 trading days, it ended the day down every single day. And that was Amazon's longest losing streak within several years. And so investors definitely do not like the AI spend and how much they plan on paying for it. But since investors went ahead and sold it off, I may begin to attack. Now, we can see the market here is clearly in fear. And I love when the market is in fear, because me as mainly an option seller, it makes the premiums so nice and allows me to capitalize off of the fear. And it allows you to see who's really about what they say they are about, because everybody loves to quote Warren Buffett, be greedy when others are fearful. However, when we're actually in fearful territory, most people don't get greedy. They actually become fearful as well. However, as we know, if we look at the data, if you were greedy at any point in history when it was fear in the market, you turned out pretty good. Now, looking at the VIX, this screenshot was taken a little earlier in the day, but this was our third day ending with a VIX number higher than 20. And the last time this occurred was back in November. We can see it happened over here. And then shortly after that spike, prices went back up, fear was removed from the market, and the VIX went right back down. But if you were being greedy during that time when everybody was fearful and doing things like selling puts, then you received a whole lot of premium for placing those trades while everybody was fearful. Well, we're getting around that exact same territory now. All right, we finished the day above 20 for the third day in a row. And the VIX staying at these high elevated levels is not something that is sustainable long term. And so eventually, sometime here soon, the fear will be removed from the market, but I'm here to take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves. Now, looking at this chart here, we can see Amazon has pretty much dropped a pretty significant amount since its all-time high, which was just back on November 3rd. And so if we take a look here, we can see it's dropped about 23%. Give or take, over the last few months. But what I want to point out here is that it's at a pretty decent level of support. Now, obviously, we can see at this $200 level here, it is at that level as we speak, but it seems like sellers as of right now, and of course this could change tomorrow, but as of right now are trying to hold that level. But we can see that's been support all the way back to May of last year, all right? It came down, it hit that $200 mark, and it bounced back up, and it hasn't been retested since until now. And so on Friday, it did actually close below it. It closed at $198. But today, the buyer stepped in a little bit and pushed it right back above that $200 mark. All right, but if that level were to fail, we have two very obvious levels of support under it. And so that would be at this 190 mark. And so if I draw this line here, typically old resistance will become new support. All right, so right here at 190, you can see it bounced off of 190 here, bounced off of 190 here, bounced off of it again, and then it finally broke up. 190, because it was old resistance, could be potential support. And then the obvious one here is this 180 mark. All right, so 200, and if that fails, 190, and then 180. All right, so we can see here that it bounced off a few times at 180. But really, I believe that Amazon is still anywhere under 200 bucks, just to be honest with you. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the options chain. But first, I have to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of this video, Moomoo. Now, beyond just being an amazing brokerage and one that has tools way better than most brokerages that I know, right now they have one of the most amazing sign-up offers as well. When you you open up an account using the link below in the description, not only can you get up to $1,000 of NVDA stock, but you can also get up to an 8.1% APY on your idle funds. And that is just crazy. But what was just added, they added in an additional $100 cash reward. When you open up an account using my link below in the description, you will not find this anywhere else. So make sure that you take advantage of this. But on top of all of that, their mobile platform is next level. Taking a look at their mobile app, so you can see here, you can see a lot of general information such as earnings and earnings calendars and earnings beats and economic calendars. However, what I like most is this investment theme. So if we click on investment themes, here they categorize stocks based on what they're impacted by. And so what I like most is this one that's called Nancy Pelosi Portfolio. Now, if you're not familiar, Nancy Pelosi is a US Congresswoman, and she seems to always select the right stocks right at the right time. And so Moomoo conveniently put all the stocks that she is currently investing in right here on this list for you to see. And so if you just wanted to follow what Nancy Pelosi is doing, you could follow this investment theme in Moomoo. But go ahead, check it out. The link is below in the description. You can get up to 60 free stocks, and you can only get that with this link. So go ahead and click it, and you can thank me later. And so here I am. I'd probably go out a little further, probably to this 43 days to expiration date on April 2nd. And again, we saw that we may have some short-term support at 200, some pretty decent support at 190, indefinite support at 180. And so it really just depends on how aggressive you want to be. Now, as far as the expected move, we can see here is plus or minus $16 as we speak. And so on the low end, that will put us around 185, give or take. And so how about we go ahead and take a look at that $185 strike. Now, of course, if you want to be more conservative, then you could select a lower strike. If you want to be more aggressive, then you could select a higher strike. Totally up to you. But I think what I'll do here is I would probably just go in and sell puts. However, let's assume you may have a smaller account and you want to use less buying power for the trade. Well, maybe I could come over here and I could sell this 185, but then I can easily turn it into a put credit spread by buying to open any put less than 185. And let's say we want to turn it into maybe a $15 wide credit spread. So I'll go ahead and I will buy this $170 strike to turn it into a credit spread. All right, and so now we have our credit spread. And so if we take a look up here at the P&L curve, we can see that we will make about $216 per contract. And all we need is for the stock price to stay above that mark that we set of 185. And as long as that happens, we make our money and we go about our day. However, if it were to drop below 185, then we can see we start to make less and less and less. And then our break evens right here about 182. And if the stock price were to go down further than that, then it would become a losing trade. However, of course, you can always set your stop loss to be stopped out at any point prior to this area. But if we look right here, we would make $216 per contract. And of course, you can set your contract amount to any amount that you want. Just make sure it's the proper sizing for your account. You definitely do not want to over leverage yourself. But if we look at this max loss here, it says 1,284. And so because that is your technical max loss, that is also the amount that you need in order to put on the trade to begin with. All right. And so that's much less if we were to just sell a cash secured put, which we would technically need $18,500 per contract in order to do a similar trade on Amazon. And so that is the power of credit spreads, is it allows you to do so much more with so much less. And so if you have smaller accounts, you can definitely utilize credit spreads. That's exactly how I grew my account from a small account to a large account. But even if you have a larger account, you can still utilize credit spreads so that it frees up your buying power for you to get into other trades. All right. I do a lot of 0D day trading. And so I like sometimes when I do these longer term trades to turn it into a credit spread so it's not using up as much buying power. So I have all that other buying power available for my other stuff. All right. But that is Amazon, which I am very bullish on. And so now let's talk about Palantir. Well, again, let's look at Palantir's recent earnings. And so they are growing rapidly. They've grown 70% year over year as far as their revenue. So now they're at about 1.4 billion. And so that is extreme growth. And secondly, another great thing is they are diversifying their income. They've grown their commercial clients by 137% year over year. And so they are not as reliant on the US government contracts as they were before. However, of course, they still have a ton of contracts. And so that is good. Diversification is always good. The Bible says invest in 7, yes, in 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. And so even in the Bible, it says, hey, diversify your income. So shout out to them for doing something good there. But now let's talk about the valuation for this company. So right now it's trading at a forward PE of about 158 and a price to sales of 100. Now, what's crazy is this number has come down a lot. At some point in the last few years, I've seen this as high as like 600 and something. And it may have been even higher than that at one point. And so it's come down a lot because they are aggressively growing their earnings. And also, as of recent, their stock price has come down as well. And so both of those factors have helped as far as their forward PE, but it's still at 158. And so if you're not familiar with PE, it's basically the price of the company. So you can take the price of the stock and then divide it by its earnings or its EPS, and it will get you to 158. And so what that means is if you were to purchase the entire company here today, and assuming its earnings stays about the range that it is now, of course they are a growing company, but we have to assume it stays where it's at now, it would take you 158 years to get your money back. Now, here's the thing with this. You probably would not buy any real company like a physical place, a laundromat, a store, a restaurant, if you knew that it would take you about 158 years to get your money back. However, for some reason in the stock market, people are willing to make that gamble. And even if we look at their price to sales, that is still at a multiple of 100, which is insane. And because of this extreme valuation, it is the most expensive stock in the S&P 500. So out of the 500 largest companies in the US by market cap, this one is the most expensive by far. And so I think Palantir is an amazing business. However, I just think that the price is too crazy right now. And the price has been crazy for a very long time. The last time that I traded Palantir, it was in its 30s. And even then, it was well overpriced. So I probably shouldn't have been doing it then. But hey, shout out to you if you love this company. I just personally don't like overpaying for things. Whether I'm at the store, whether I'm shopping on Amazon, or whether I am in the stock market, I do not want to overpay for a company. And you cannot tell me that out of 499 different companies in the S&P 500 that you can't find anyone that intrigues you more than Palantir. Because the question you have to ask yourself is, would you still be as interested in this company if the stock price has been falling over the last several years, but with the same exact fundamentals? Because if the answer to that is no, then you don't really care about the company. You just care that the stock price was going up for a decent amount of time. And that's okay if you're trading it solely off of price action, but if you don't know why you made money, then you won't know why you lost money either. Now, looking at the chart for Palantir, it is pretty much just like Amazon. It is trying to hold a level of support. And so if we look here right at this $130 mark, we can see going all the way back to May of last year, it was resistance. And then once it finally got above it, it became support. And this is the first time it's really tried to threaten that price target. And so we can see it did bounce down below it for 3 straight days. But however, buyers are trying to hold on to that level. All right. And so if you are a Palantir lover, then you may be in luck. Of course, we'll see how the coming days and weeks play out. But that 130 level is clearly some support. And then if that breaks, we may see this 120 level right here where it bounced off of last. That could be a level of support. But if all else fails, then likely we may see some support at this $100 level, as that is clearly a level that was resistance for it before. And so old resistance becomes support. And also large round numbers are typically a psychological level of support or resistance. And so it's typically very, very strong at those points. But let me know down in the comments below if you are interested in Amazon or Palantir, and if you've been trading it as of recently. And again, if you are looking to trade to freedom, we would absolutely love to have you. But with that, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.